Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to talk about Swingers. That's right, Swingers from 1996. That was a long time ago. Very long time ago. If you're older like me, you remember that time. I remember it very well. That was the year I joined the Marines. That was the year I went in to the Marine Corps. My God, it was a long, long time ago. Yeah, 1996. It was a different world back then. You got to remember, in the 90s, I mean, we internet was just starting to come out. You know, it was a new thing. Cell phones hadn't gone mainstream yet. You know, you still had to like carry them and stuff. You know, like in a tote bag. You know, it was weird. You know, all these things that we take for granted today. Cable was still a thing. There was no streaming yet. Like I said, the internet hadn't really taken over yet. And the internet that did exist was dial-up. It was like, you know, this wasn't what it. No Wi-Fi. There was no Wi-Fi. Okay, it was just a different time. You know, DVDs were brand new. Okay, those were brand new. Oh my God, DVDs. You know, I remember that area very well. I joined the Marines that year, and when I came home from leave on vacation. My little brother had this movie called Swingers, so I decided to watch it, and I tell you what, I fell in love. I fell in love. Okay, this movie deals with a lot of issues that men have to deal with, but they don't make movies about that. No one ever makes movies about the stuff that guys have to go through when it comes to dating. You know, Hollywood won't allow it. Okay, this movie was made by Miramax. Okay, Harvey Weinstein. That's right. It was made by them. Okay, and those were independent filmmakers. Okay, they weren't going by the rules that like Disney or Paramount or Warner Brothers or any of the big studios. Okay, they weren't doing any of the stuff that they were doing. Okay, that stuff was like safe. Okay, they were doing in artsy fartsy films. Okay, but there were artsy fartsy films that people actually wanted to see. It wasn't just a bunch of like, you know, black and white shit with like people smoking cigarettes in the corner, okay, and eating food. No, it was actually, you know, they were actually talking. Because the budgets were not that great, they had to make the movie entertaining. Well, if you can't hire famous actors, you can't film in exotic locations, you can't have expensive special effects or any of that kind of stuff. What can you do? Well, you can make a really good story, write a really good story, and hire some guys that are not famous but are really, really talented. And that's what they did. Okay, and that's how Miramax got started. They started making movies like that. Okay, where the dialogue was the star, not that there was no real stars. It was what I'm trying to say is what people were saying in the movie was more interesting than who was in the movie or what was happening in the movie. Okay, so they made Pulp Fiction. Okay, if you remember the very beginning of that movie, you learned so much about, you know, fast food in Amsterdam. You learned about foot massages. Okay, and even though that had almost nothing to do with the story being told in the movie, for like the good 5 minutes, you were captivated by that conversation. Okay, you didn't even know who these characters were. You didn't even know they were hitmen. Like, you had no idea, okay, what they were doing. Okay, but you were invested in their conversation and what they were talking about. You're invested on whether they put ketchup or mayonnaise on French fries. Okay, whether you could drink a beer in a movie theater, which you couldn't do back then in the 90s. You can now, obviously, all movie theaters serve alcohol, but back then in the 90s, you could not serve alcohol in a movie theater. Are you crazy? We had to sneak that shit in. So that's one of the things here. Okay, the dialogue became the star, and Quentin Tarantino is very good at that. So I think Harvey Weinstein decided he wanted to get more people who could do that. Okay, start bringing in some more talent. Okay, more filmmakers that could do that stuff. They could capture you with the dialogue. Okay, because that way you don't have to spend so much money on sets. Okay, and they did that, well, obviously with Quentin Tarantino. He'd done that in Reservoir Dogs, which they own that one too. That movie's referenced a lot in this movie, in Swingers. Okay, and they also did it with Kevin Smith. You know, they bought Clerks from him. Okay, which was all dialogue. I mean, the movie was black and white because he couldn't afford a color camera. Okay, it was all black and white. He filmed it in the convenience store that he worked at. Okay, it cost him like $22,000 that he had to ask his parents for the money, maxed out their credit cards. Okay, so you know, and they bought that, and that movie was a big hit, Clerks. Okay, and then there's this one, Swingers. Okay, written by Jon Favreau. He wrote it right after he got to LA because his girlfriend, who he had back in Chicago, they broke up so he could go to LA, and he was still heartbroken about it. And so since he was trying to write something in between going to auditions and working bullshit jobs, He wrote the script, okay, but he couldn't find anyone to make it. He had done very little. He had a very small part in Rudy, which I told you about in the last video, okay, from 1993, I think that was, or 94, I don't remember. Okay, yeah, the Notre Dame movie, with Sean Astin, Ned Beatty, yeah. He had a small role in that, and so did Vince Vaughn. Okay, and so he made some connections. He met a guy named Doug Liman who was out of film school, but nobody had offered him a job to direct anything. So he managed to come up with $250,000 to make this movie on the condition that he directed himself. So this was his first directorial debut. Okay, so Jon Favreau agreed to it, whatever, and they decided to make the movie. Now, Jon Favreau, obviously, he cast himself as the main character, as the lead, Mike Peters. Okay, he also cast his friend Vince Vaughn from Rudy, okay, as to play a character named Trent Walker, who is basically the life of the party. Okay, Mr. Personality. He's the guy that just flirts with everybody. He's charming. He's good looking. Okay, he's got the gift of gab. Okay, he's like a chick magnet. Okay, and we all know guys like that. All right, and he's very positive, very upbeat. He complains every once in a while and stuff, but he never gets super depressed. He gets upset, he gets frustrated in the movie, but he doesn't get depressed. He doesn't wallow in self-pity or get depressed, okay? That Jon Favreau does that throughout the whole movie. He's always in his insecurities and his depression, his anxiety, all that kind of stuff. That's all Jon Favreau. He's unsure of himself, no self-confidence, which makes it funny that he wrote himself as the main character, and he's the one with no self-esteem, which is hilarious, okay? Because you see it from his point of view. Okay, you see how the world treats guys like him, his clumsy little attempts to be charming, to be like his friend Trent, and they just fall flat. Nobody cares. Nobody's interested in him. And that's very realistic for a lot of guys. We feel invisible. We feel like we don't count. And so this movie does a very good job at basically showing you, ladies, if you watch this movie, most of you aren't going to watch it, but if you did watch this movie, you would see that. This movie deals with a lot of the problems that men go through in dating. You think that only women have problems in dating? They're just because they don't make movies about guys and the problems they have with dating. Okay, that's all they do for women. Is all of it is their dating lives. Their fucking history, their dating history. All that kind of shit. And the assholes that keep asking them out, the guys that are not attracted to, and the guys that they are in love with but fuck them over. And then they're all shit. All that kind of crap that every fucking TV show and rom-com and chick flick out there talks about. Okay, all the problems that men cause for women, but no one ever talks about the problems that women cause for men. Okay, this movie goes there. Okay? And you're going to find out as you watch this movie that a lot of the problems that men have are actually of their own making. Yeah, how's that for a novice idea? I wish they would make a chick flick like that, where the woman in the movie who's frustrated by all the horrible men that keep going out with her or keep trying to go out with her and stuff, and all of a sudden she realizes that the reason her love life sucks and the reason she can't get the guy that she wants and the reason men all treat her like shit, okay, is just because it's her own fucking fault. Yeah, how about that? You're never gonna see that in a fucking chick flick. Yeah, accountability. Ooh, you can't say that word. Not a rom-com, not a chick flick. No, you can't have any accountability there. No, it's always got to be the guy's fault. Okay? Well, us men, we're not raised to believe that. Okay? We're not raised to believe that. Okay? We know that, that we're the ones that have to actually do something. You're either born pretty or you're not. Or if you're not pretty, you make yourself pretty. Okay? That's pretty much it. Okay, guys, we're not born successful. You're either born successful or you're not. Okay, and if you're not, you got to make yourself successful. Okay, that's what's going to get more eyes on you. That's going to get more women to notice you. Okay, we know that. Most men out there, we're average. Okay, if we want to be above average, we actually have to do something with our lives. Okay, we actually have to accomplish something of merit, of note, before women are going to start paying attention to us. Otherwise, we're invisible. Women don't have to do that. Okay, the women have different problems. Okay, women are, a woman can be pretty, but then there's like so many fucking women are focused on being pretty that you're going to get lost in the crowd. You better do something that sticks out. Well, what's different from you and all the other pretty girls that are out there? Okay, exactly, not much. Okay, whereas guys, you have mostly average, and you'll have like a above average, and you have mostly average. Okay, so the guys that are high value are a lot more rare. Where most girls are born pretty. Okay, they just are. It's not until they hit middle age that they start they start getting cellulite and overeating. Their metabolism slows down. They start looking like shit. That's not until like in their early 30s, mid 30s is when that starts to happen. Okay, but until then, most girls are average or above average looking. Okay, I mean you really got to go out of your way to be really disgusting at a young age. Okay, if you're a woman, all right. Especially since the female culture is all about being pretty. And don't say it's because of men. No, it's not because of men. It's because of you. Okay? You women judge each other on your fucking looks. Men have nothing to do with it. Okay? Men have nothing to do with it. Yes, you want to attract a man, but mostly you want to show off the girls that you don't like, how you're prettier than they are. Okay? That's not girls. I don't mean that fucking bullshit. Men force women to be pretty. Now, get the fuck out of here. No, we don't. Y'all do that. You all do that to each other. Okay? So that's going on, okay, and this movie deals with that stuff. It deals with the insecurities, the troubles, the pitfalls that men have to go through in dating. Okay, so if you really want to understand what something that guys have to go through, why don't you watch this movie? Okay, because there's not very many movies like this that will explain to you in chick flick language, okay, what it's like to be a guy dating, all right? And he's an average guy. Mike Peters is an average guy. He's a fucking out-of-work actor / comedian, okay? I mean, he's average. He's one in a million, one of a billion in LA trying to get acting jobs. They all go to LA to get acting jobs, okay? Very few of them ever make it, So these guys are trying. They're trying, okay? That's who they are, okay? And then I told you Vince Vaughn plays Trent Walker. He's the life of the party, the ladies' man, the womanizer, okay? Even though he is a womanizer, I mean, the women love this guy. They love this guy. So don't blame all men. Just because some guys are more attractive. If a guy's more attractive, if a guy can pull a lot of ass on his own, okay, then he's going to think less about the women that are attracted to him, okay? He's going to think less, okay? Because if so many women are attracted, what's going to make one better than the other? You really got to go out of your way. And how many women are already going to go out of their way, okay? They're already competing for this guy, and now you want him to put a ring on it? What the fuck, man? He's got so many options here. How about this? How about dating an average guy? Okay, that guy will make you his world. That guy will do whatever for you. Okay? But guys like Trent Walker are not. You're a pump and dump. Most of you are going to be a pump and dump. But yet those are the only guys you want to go out with. All right, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. All right? Okay, moving right along. Ron Livingston's in this movie. He plays Rob. He plays this insecure guy who's trying to be an actor too. He's friends with Mike Peters, with Jon Favreau's character. They were friends in New York. In this movie, they're friends in New York, and they both moved out to LA together to make it in the acting world. But they're not making it very well. So Rob's always depressed about his stupid roles he gets offered and how he has to keep asking his parents for money. Okay, Ron Livingston, the actor, he's still around. He's still acting. You've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's on some TV show now. I forgot what it is. I don't give a shit. Okay, I remember him as Berger, Jack Berger from Sex and the City. He was also in Band of Brothers, believe it or not, the Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks World War II miniseries from HBO. He was in that too. He played a major character in that. And he was in Office Space. Everyone remembers him from Office Space, okay? Heather Graham's in this movie as well. She doesn't show up until the end. She plays a character named Lorraine. Obviously, they couldn't afford her post Boogie Nights. So luckily she filmed this before Boogie Nights came out, okay? Obviously she's done a lot since then. Not so much today. I don't know what the fuck she's doing today, honestly. I know she's old. She hit the wall a long time ago. But for a while there, she was hot. Like in the late 90s and early 2000s, she was very hot. She did a movie, I think it's called Bowfinger with Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin. She was in that. She was in Lost in Space. I think she played, she played the hot daughter in Lost in Space. The one with William Hurt and Matt LeBlanc. Okay, and then what else? She was in Austin Powers, I think The Spy Who Shagged Me. She was Felicity Shagwell in that movie. Those were some funny movies. Okay, she was in that, and what else? She was on some TV show. Californication, yeah, she played a character in that. What a piece of shit. I watched a few episodes of that because women love that show, Californication. It came out a long time ago, like 10 years ago, something like that. But I know women love that show. David Duchovny, this butt ugly dweeb. Okay, but women were attracted to him. I don't know why, but in the show they were. And he's just like this pessimistic, depressed guy. He's always fucking angry and pissed off and sarcastic and making snide remarks and just like he's down about everything. He's like, fuck, man, that shit, But yet every fucking girl on the show wants to fuck him. Yeah, because I guess that they find that attractive. When you're just like, oh, fuck this and fuck all that. My God, life sucks, man. And every hot girl's like, oh my God, I want to fuck you so bad. All right, come on. Get the fuck out. Like that. Like that works in real life. No, it doesn't. Okay. But for the fucking idiots that make these shows, it does. Okay. Anyway, I know she was in that for a while, and then whatever. Who gives a shit? And then this other character named actress named Brooke Langdon. She plays a small part in this role, but everyone was gonna remember it. She plays a character named Nikki. Nikki is the girl Later on, I'll talk about it when we get to the scene. But Nikki is the girl that Jon Favreau's character meets at a bar, that he actually succeeds in getting her number, and then he fucks it all up. It's a hilarious scene. Everybody remembers it, and I'm going to love talking about it when we get to that part. But right now, I'm still talking about the beginning of the movie, okay? So like I said, Jon Favreau is from Chicago. In real life, he's from Chicago. Well, actually, he's from New York, okay? But he was living in Chicago at the time, and he decided to leave Chicago to go to LA with his friend Ron Livingston. So that part was real. A lot of the stuff in the script was real, based on real life, okay? In real life, Jon Favreau's girlfriend broke up with him right before he went to LA. So he was still heartbroken about it. He was still crying about it in LA, trying to get acting jobs, going to auditions, you know, trying to find an agent and all that kind of stuff, working these bullshit jobs with Ron Livingston, okay? So all that part was real. All that part was true. Okay, and so he decided to write what he knew. So he wrote this script to deal with his own heartache, his own like trying to get over her, because he knew she was fucking somebody else now, and that was tearing him up inside, you know, because he left this woman that he was obviously in love with so that he could make it as an actor. And here he'd been in LA for like a year or two, and nothing had happened. And he got a small role in Rudy, and then that was it. He was struggling to get anything else. Okay, nobody was taking him seriously. He's not classically handsome or anything like that. So he couldn't get the leading man roles. He couldn't do the male modeling, none of the shit that most guys do, you know, for those fucking CW shows and shit, you know. You're a male model and then they hire you as a fucking actor, okay? But they all start off as male models, you know, okay? That kind of shit. And he doesn't look like a male. He's not going to get any of that stuff. He's going to have to use his personality. He's going to have to do the stand-up comedian route, you know? That's how other actors that are ugly as fuck, men that are not attractive, that's how they become movie stars. They start off as doing stand-up comedy and then they get the movie roles. Okay, that kind of thing. All right, or they're a wrestler or something, and he's not any of those things. Okay, so he was having a difficult time in the beginning. He wrote this script. They managed it got bought by Miramax. Weinstein bought it for $5.5 million, and they filmed it. All right. So he met Ron Livingston at Improv Olympic as a comedy. I used to go there a lot. I used to take girls on dates there a lot at the Improv Olympic in Chicago. Okay, and that's where they met. Okay, and then they moved out to LA. Okay. Most of the budget in this movie, it cost $250,000 to make this movie, which is nothing. Okay, was spent on licensing fees. It wasn't even to pay the actors or the sets or the cameras or any of that stuff or the crew. And most of it went to get the rights to use the songs that they use in this movie. And a lot of the songs they used in this movie are old. All of them are old. Okay, but it costs a lot of money just to get the rights to use the songs that they used in this movie. All right. This movie was also filmed in Los Feliz neighborhood of California in LA. Okay, now I don't know LA very well. I've only been there a couple of times. My brother actually lived in LA for a long time. He actually graduated from USC over there. So I remember going to LA for his graduation. Okay, but LA to me has always been a plastic place. It looks like shit, you know, and the people there are fake. You know, there's a small percentage of super rich people that think they're better than everyone else, and there's a large percentage of not so rich people that unfortunately are living very depressed lives. And to me, I just can't do that. I can't live like that, man. I would suck to live like that. All right. Anyway, so the movie begins. We got the opening credits here. Okay, the song that we're hearing is called You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You. This version was sang by Dean Martin, one of the Rat Pack, and you can tell it's that old jazz music, you know, think of like Ocean's 11 type shit, you know, Dean Martin playing the piano, you know, singing like, you know, ain't that a kick in the head, while he's smoking a cigarette, you know, that's the type of music we're getting in this movie, okay? Because this movie deals with swingers, it also deals with swing dancing, okay? And swing dancing was very popular in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Okay, so there's a lot of that here, especially if you look at the way that people dress in this movie. A lot of guys are wearing bowling shirts, okay? Like the Charlie Sheen bowling shirts from fucking 2.5 Men. Okay, they're wearing that. A lot of the guys are wearing that. Most of the guys in this movie have short hair. Okay, they keep like gel in it or some sort of fucking lacquer inside their hair so they can comb it over and part it on the side, which is the way men had their hair in the 1940s and 30s, okay? So you see it in the 50s as well. So you can see a lot of that in this movie, okay? That was on purpose. That was on purpose, right? So the movie begins, they're in a diner in LA, one of the many diners in LA, 50s style diner, okay? And we got the two characters here, Mike, Jon Favreau's character, and Rob, Ron Livingston's character. And they're sitting at a diner, okay? Now, Mike Peters over here, Jon Favreau's character, is talking about his ex-girlfriend, okay? He's talking about her in the diner, okay? And, you know, he's asking his friend, Rob, should he call her or not? Okay, because it's been 6 months since he moved out to LA. Okay, he hasn't heard from her. She has not called him. Okay, so he's wondering if he should make the first move and call her back in New York. Okay, to see maybe if she misses him, that kind of thing, and of course, Rob is telling her, don't do it, don't call. Mike misses his ex a lot. He wants her to come back to him. He's debating whether he should go back to New York or whether he could convince her to come live with him in LA. Okay, but Rob tells them that the best chance of her coming back to him is just to leave her alone. Just leave her alone. Ghost her. We didn't call it ghosting back then, okay? But just leave her alone. Just leave her alone. If she wants to come back to you, she will fucking try to come back to you, okay? But cut off all contact. And I agree with that 100%, man. Once a relationship's over, cut off all contact. You don't need to be knowing what they're doing with their lives, okay? And they don't even know what you're doing with your lives, okay? If you're fucking somebody else immediately after a breakup, okay, and you don't need to be posting that shit, and you're posting that shit on social media, she don't need to be seeing that. Because even if she blocked you or whatever, you blocked her or whatever, okay, one of her friends knows you and they're going to check and they're going to tell her, okay? And what's that going to do? How's it going to make her feel better? It's not. And the same thing goes in the reverse, okay? If she's screwing somebody else, you don't need to know about it. You don't need to know about it. I don't want to know about it, okay? I'm focused on my life, not hers, okay? You see what I mean? Okay, and so that's what Mike is going through here. Okay, he's not really sure what's going on with her over there. He knows that she's seen another guy. Her name's Michelle. He knows that Michelle has seen another guy in New York, but he doesn't know how serious it is or whatever. But he misses her a lot, and because of this, he can't really bring himself to do anything else, okay, except obsess over his ex-girlfriend, okay? Most of us guys, we know what it's like. I used to kind of be like this as well. Not today, obviously, but when I was younger, in my early 20s and shit, absolutely. Oh man, that's one of the problems of being raised by a single mom is that they focus so much on the emotional part of the relationship and not so much on the practical part, okay? Men, we tend to focus on the practical, okay? Okay, this is what happened, okay? So you fell in love with her, okay, but now she dumped you, now she's seeing somebody else. Get the fuck over it. Get up off your fucking ass, grow a pair of balls, and go fuck somebody else and go meet somebody else, okay? You're worth a lot more than that. That's the practical side of it. The emotional side of it that the women focus on is, oh my God, and how does that make you feel? Oh, I know what it's like to feel betrayed that way and to feel so lonely. Fuck that noise, okay? Unfortunately, I think Jon Favreau was raised by a single mom, or his character was raised by a single mom, because he's focused on the emotional part and none of the practical part, okay? It's like he's so fucking caught up on this girl, he can't stop loving this girl. I mean, you fucking ended it. The relationship is over. You can still have feelings for her, but you're going to continue to have feelings for this girl until you replace those feelings with somebody else. That's how it works. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone. All right, and he hasn't figured that out. He doesn't want to figure that out. He doesn't want to try. I think he's scared. He's scared he's never going to meet anyone as good as her, and so therefore it's not even worth trying. Which is that's an end game strategy right there. That's defeatist mentality. You don't want to be living like that. Unfortunately, a lot of guys are, especially insecure guys are. And I wish I could tell you that the men today in 2024 are better than the men from 1996, but they're not. They're actually worse. They're actually worse. Okay, like I said, no male role models for men today. No movies that help men deal with relationships. Okay, though you got a billion movies to help women deal with their relationships, nothing for men to deal with their relationships, all right? So that's going on. Basically, he's crying about Michelle to his friend Rob, okay? And Rob tells her, well, listen, you know what you got to do, Mike, is you got to pretend to forget about her, okay, until you really do forget about her, okay? And he goes like, well, when's that going to be? Like, how am I going to do that? So if I forget about her, then how is she going to come back to me? He tells her, well, that's the trick. That's kind of like the thing about women, is like they're never going to come back to you unless you forget about her. And then once you forgot about her, that's usually when they come back to you. Where was this movie when I was a teenager? Okay. Yes, it's true, guys. If you're watching this, it's so fucking true. If you're one of those guys I just mentioned, okay, that's just this soy boy and having a hard time with relationships and love, okay, dude, you got to grow a pair, okay? You got to grow a pair, okay? There's no. Who fucking told you? Whoever told you that you got to fucking take care of the girl first above yourself is full of shit, okay? Full of fucking shit. How the fuck can you take care of anybody if you can't even fucking take care of yourself? No, you got to take care of yourself first. You got to take care of yourself first, okay? Because women want to be with a guy who can fucking handle their own shit. They don't want to be the ones handling your shit. Okay? And if you can't fucking deal with a girl fucking breaking up with you and breaking your fucking heart, how the fuck are you going to deal with the next girl that comes into your life? You see what I mean? Okay, there comes a time where you got to just turn that fucking shit off. Quit fucking feeling sorry for yourself. Okay, you feel bad? Fuck feeling bad. Go do something about it. That's the only thing that's going to make you feel good. That's the only thing that's going to fill that hole that you have inside of you, okay, is by doing something about it. Okay, replace it with another girl. You don't have to fall in love again. The new girl might fuck you over too, but so fucking what? Since when does she become so fucking important to you? You see what I mean? You're still the main character of your story. And I say this to women too. You're still the main character of your story, not them. Okay? Does that sound selfish? Fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, it is. Okay? But unless you've got someone that has committed to you, that has earned your trust and your commitment, okay, then yeah, you got to put yourself first. Absolutely. Absolutely. Until you find someone who's willing to put you first. When you find that person, then you put her first, and that's how you make it work. Okay, as long as you're both putting each other first, you're going to be fine. But you can't just fucking do that. Especially not after a fucking breakup. You got to take care of yourself. What the fuck? You know? You're supposed to, you're not going to forget about him that way, but eventually you will forget about him. Once you start, that's what happened to me. You know, I was hung up over girls too until I started dating other girls. Once I started dating other girls, I started forgetting the last one. And that's just how it works. Now, there's girls that have totally destroyed me. I'm on the floor curled up into a ball crying. Okay, I remember there's a girl I'm thinking about right now. It's a long time ago. I think I was like 21 years old at the time. You know, curled up into a ball crying my ass off over this girl that broke my heart. And now, I think, until right now, I probably haven't thought about her in maybe 6 or 7 years, okay? Because I don't give a fuck about her anymore. You see what I mean? Okay, and I haven't thought about her in a long time. It's been decades since I thought about her. Okay, and at one point, she was the most important thing in the world to me. You know. See, that's how it works. You know, and that's the truth. Okay, your feelings for them will change, but you got to make room for someone else. That's the only way. You got to know what it's like to be with other people in order to get rid of fucking the stink of the last one. That's the way I look at it. Okay, so anyway, he tells you that she's not going to come back to him until he actually does forget about her. Okay. And that's the rub. And they do a little tell. Here's the rub. When you actually get over her, when you actually forget about her, when you're actually happy with somebody else, when you're actually, going on with your life, making changes, staying positive, and moving on with your life, that's when she'll try to come back to you. And that's true. That's true in my life as well. Okay. I can't tell you how many times I've been in relationships where it ended. Okay. And then also the girl tries to hit me up again. Like I'm fucking stupid or something. Like I don't know what would happen. Okay, I think we know what happened. Okay, we were dating. You got bored of me. Okay, you met some other guy that seemed more interesting than me. You knew you didn't want to feel like a slut and cheat on me, so you broke it off with me. You went with that guy. That guy pumped and dumped you, fucked you over, and then you realize, oh my God, I had a good thing with Diego, and I fucked it up. So now you come crawling back to me, trying to rekindle things, and then what's going to happen? Then I'm going to fucking pump and dump you and send you back because I was already fucking seeing someone else, you dumb bitch. And that's true. That's true. I think I would have to say, like, out of all the breakups that I've had, I can't think of all of them right now, but probably in my top 10 that I can think of right now, these were girls that mattered to me. In my top 10 of all the girls that mattered to me, I think out of those breakups, I think 8 of them tried to come back to me. 8 of them out of the 10, 8 tried to come back to me. Okay? Post breakup. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it is true. It is true. They always go back. They try to come back. All right. And depending on the circumstances, I mean, was it a bad breakup or was it amicable? Did I break up with her? Did she break up with me? All these things you got to factor in. Okay. But if it's a girl that fucking left me for another guy, yeah, I'll take her back. I'll make her think I'm taking her back, but I'm just going to fuck her so that I can show it to that guy if he ever comes around. Oh my God, I just revealed a secret. Oh, damn. All right. Anyway, enough of that. Okay. This isn't about me. It's not about me. Okay. Anyway. So yes, that's the rub. Okay. The girls never come back until you quit giving a shit about them. And guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. Okay. For these guys that are watching, I know not many of you are guys that are watching this, mostly women watching this, and I'm letting you all know about our secrets here. All right. But for you guys that are actually watching this video right now, as long as you don't focus all of your attention on her, okay, then there's a bit of mystery to you, and that's going to make you more attractive to women. Okay? So you never put all your eggs in one basket. Okay? I've made that mistake so many fucking times. So many fucking times. Okay? Never put all your eggs in one basket, because if you do, then she's going to be the sole focus of your life, the sole focus of that part of you. Okay? And that's going to fucking crowd her up. That's going to kind of push her away. She's going to feel unattracted by that. Okay? Women want a guy with options. Women want to be with a guy that they know, that other women know that another woman can easily take this guy away from you. Okay? If you're not, a good girlfriend or a good wife. Okay? They want to be with that guy. They want to be with a guy who fucking couldn't get anyone better than them. Okay? Because that's very unattractive. Okay? So the best way to do that is always have women in your life. Always have friends that are female. Okay? Always be talking. I'm not saying sleep with them. I'm not saying flirt with them. Okay? But make sure that they're there. Okay? At all times. Because that's going to make your woman want to hold on to you more. If you don't have any female friends, okay, at all you have is your girlfriend, well, it's going to turn her off. It is, okay? Because then you're going to be so focused on her feelings towards you that it's going to crowd her. It's going to make her feel suffocated, okay? Like you're too needy, all right? And women don't want that. They want to be the needy ones. They don't want you to be the needy one, all right? That's true, all right? Okay, and the best way to do that is be seeing more than one woman. Problem solved. What the fuck? I'm so tired of guys saying, oh, I give so much to her and she fucked me over. Why the fuck were you only seeing her? What the fuck? Where is it written that you can only date one woman at a time? Where is that fucking written? Who gave you that rule? You know where you got that? You got that from your fucking single mom. You got that from your fucking, the rom-coms that you watched. That your girlfriend made you watch. Well, you think she doesn't have backup guys? Of course she does. All women do. All attractive women do, at least. Okay? You might be her best option, but don't think for 1 second she can't replace your ass in a fucking heartbeat if she wants to. Okay? So who's to say that only women can do that? What the fuck, dude? Come on. All right, anyway. Oh, but it makes me feel guilty. It makes me feel like I'm disrespected. Shut the fuck up, okay? And we'll get to that. That's actually talked about in this movie, what I just said. Okay, but we'll get to that later, okay? So basically, Mike is always talking about Michelle. He's always fucking depressed, worried about whether she's going to come back or not. Fuck that noise, man. It reminds me when I was young and stupid and feeling that way too, okay? So anyway, Mike comes back to his shitty little shithole apartment in LA, okay? He checks his messages, okay? And he blows up all of them. He's got messages from like some woman who's a friend of his mom, from Trent, who we'll meet later on. He's like, say, hey, call me back. Let's go do something, that kind of thing. He skips all his messages. He's just checking to see if Michelle left him a message, and she did not. So he's all upset, okay? Yes, we had answering machines back in the 90s, okay? He's upset, okay? And then the answering machine starts talking to him. Yeah, I'm not making that up. The answering machine starts talking to him, okay? You have to put things in perspective. She doesn't deserve you. So he immediately picks up his phone and is about to call her, and the answer machine is basically telling him to stop. Don't call her. Don't call her. I know you want to call. Don't call her. You have to put things in perspective. Okay. She doesn't deserve you. He's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Okay. He's like, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Yeah. Thanks a lot for the great advice. All right. He's like about to call her, but he finally decides not to call her. Okay. Instead, he calls Trent. Okay, he calls Trent back. Okay, Trent is played by Vince Vaughn. He calls him and tells him, hey, and Trent's there. And Trent, of course, like I said, is the life of the party. He's the player. Okay, the ladies' man. Full of self-confidence. Okay, he's the kind of guy that other guys want to be around and women want to be with. He's totally that guy. I know plenty of guys like that myself. So yeah, that's very realistic. That one guy in that group would be that guy, okay? And Trent definitely is that guy, okay? But we'll get to him in the next video, okay? Anyway, I want to thank you for watching this long, and we'll see you soon.